Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I freely admit that I completely and utterly got caught up watching YouTube videos and yeah, got sidetracked. So let me just get everything. Fortunately, I laid everything out already to begin with, so that's all well and good. Yeah. Let's have a look here that everything's fine. Seems like. What's that reverb? It's very interesting. Right. So let's hopefully this. Yeah, it's this. I was wondering what I had reverb on, but yeah, that I need to change. There we go. Okay. Okay. Right. Is that blowing out a bit? I'll turn down the volume on the mic because it does seem to be popping quite a bit. Right. There we are. Move that back. Nope. Like so. Great. Yeah. Man, I need to lift that up now so it's not quite that low. You can still see the guitar. There. Maybe that's good. I started just a little bit earlier today. Not much else to it than legitimately just wanting to get this kind of going. It is so hot in here, dear Lord. Okay, so what we're having a look at today is this old 90s. Hey, Armar! Welcome to the stream. Just in time, I'm just about to start explaining what we're doing today. So, I got this in for stuff. Basically, we're currently in the studio with my band, recording some new stuff. And the producer there, Neela, who's also the guitarist in Cyan Kicks, I suggest you go and check them out. Awesome, awesome Finnish band. Yeah, he just basically picked this up and he was like, here, take this, do whatever you want with it. And yeah, only thing that you need to do with it that I want is God, I can't speak today. Only request that he really had was a hardtail bridge. So we're gonna get rid of this trem here. But how about we have a little bit of a closer look at this. So it is a Yamaha RGX Custom and it's made in Taiwan. It's from around the late 80s, early 90s. And oddly enough, I am really, really surprised at some of the more, I guess, modern things about it that are very common nowadays. It has a push knob. I'm guessing that's going to be split. Need to figure out what this is. It might be a boost. There's not a lot of information online about this guitar. Volume, tone. Five-way switch, humbucker, single coil humbucker, a licensed Floyd Rose type thing. It was licensed by Floyd Rose, but it looks very strange. I thought it was a Kaler trim to start with, but has big back cavity, so that gives it away. These are Yamaha tuners. It's got a mahogany body that I can see because there's a big crack here. It's got a mahogany body with some veneer cap on it. By the looks of it, I don't know what it is up until, well, we'll find out once I remove all the paint from it. But some of the cool, weighs a lot. It's close to 4 kilos. Neck through. It's got probably maple, might be walnut, or what else could it be? Walnut or mahogany. Don't know which. We'll find that out as well when I strip the paint off of it. Yeah. How about I actually try and pick up the camera, have you see a bit closer of a look at this thing, if I can manage to do that. Let's have a look here. Hopefully the stream doesn't cut out if I do this. Has done that in the past. So I'm gonna put this here for the time being. Pull out some of the cable so I have better reach. And yeah, let's have a look. So essentially, this is what we're looking at. It's nice pearly purple color to it. Has a big crack right here, and there you can see that it's a mahogany body, but then this is a bit lighter, but it is a veneer of some sorts, which is funny because it's painted over. The knobs are, well, this feels kind of sturdy. This, not so much. It feels very, very flimsy. The switch is not too bad. But yeah, look at that. That's not good. The trim is missing bits. In general, it's very dirty. I don't think, if I remember correctly, Neela had said that he hasn't really tuned this up, ever played with it or anything. Back of it, not really much to it, and just looks pretty standard. There's the code there, if you can make that out. Don't know if you can. Probably not. This is also very interesting. I do like this feature. So that's the jack socket right there, and that is very interesting. But without further ado, one of the things that we are going to do is see how it sounds right out the gate. Before I start taking it apart, let's have a listen to what it sounds like. It will need a tune-up, but we'll see what lies in store for us. I already know there's a good bit of work to be done, but yeah. Put on my glasses so I can see stuff, pick up a guitar pick so I can play stuff. And oh, and I need to turn off the background music for now. I need to turn off line in, background music off. I need to turn off line in, background music off. So listen. All right. So cool. Listen. Sorry about that. You got everything kind of doubled there for a bit. Yeah. So, how am I going to do this so that I don't drop anything? Got my lead here. Okay, so it's basically it's very hard to be playing anything on it because let's turn off some of the effects so you can actually hear it a bit better. Let's take pristine clean. Where is it? Come on. There. We'll turn off effects. Now don't need any delays or anything like that. No reverb. No delay. There. That'll do us just fine for now. But yeah. The strings are very, very low, so we'll need to bring those up a little bit to be able to play anything at all on this. And we'll have to open up the locking nut, tune her up. Oops, sorry about that. So that's sorry. I'll fix that. Just give me a sec. Give me a sec. I could just do that. There. Okay. Cool. Put the background music back. There. Right. So, raising up the strings. Wonder if I'll just be able to get it by raising up the bridge. Looks like there's been quite a bit of damage done to it. But we'll have a look. I'll take some before pictures. Always good to have those. Rightio. And yeah, let's try and lift that bridge up a little bit. Man, that is in very poor nick. Can barely get any purchase on it. Loosen these springs. Reminds me of my first Yamaha Pacifica. Yeah, I've only dealt with a couple of Yamahas so far, and yeah, there's some really cool things about some of them, and some really uncool things about the very same guitars. It really depends. There we go. Well, that was under. The tuning immediately changed as I took the locks off. That's pretty cool. So look at these. I'm used to having very flat sort of locking nuts, but these have a bit of a shape to them. I think that's pretty interesting. Don't believe, no, doesn't really look like there's any sort of way to discern them apart. That's going to be my part spin. The inlay is interesting. There's like pearl. Is that pearl or is that epoxy? Some of them are really poorly done. Like really poorly done, but yeah. How am I gonna lift you up? Might put a block under there, some sort of, there we go. That lifted it up ever so slightly. Is it playable? That's already a lot better. I think we can actually tune this up now. Oh, keep on forgetting where the freaking plug is. All right, now again, turning off some of the background music. Line in back on. Yeah. Yeah, nowadays they come flat. Exactly. That's what I'm used to. I hadn't seen locking nuts like that before. Righto. Still sounds great, doesn't it? I need to move a little bit this way. Let's do a quick tune-up so we can actually see what. So it's been half a step down basically. Let's just tune it to drop D. That sounds really flat. Or like dead sounding string. Also, these strings are just not really keeping tuning. That could be part due to the bridge. Right. So, let's have a quick listen through everything. Okay, so that sounds okay. What does this do? So it is a split. But what does this do? Boost, maybe? Okay. Second position. Third position. Fourth. And fifth. It's actually got pretty nice sounds. I'm fairly surprised about that. Well, I am and I aren't. I am and I aren't. That didn't make any sense. But wow. That knob is not doing too great. let's get some chugs in there. How are the levels? Do I need to turn the guitar up, or is it alright? Okay, well that came out the bat pretty quick. Or came out of the gate, I should say. Micro Terror. I'll pull it out in a bit, I promise. That's a very interesting sound. Whoa, that's piercing. You do hear a change. There is a shift in the sound. Yeah, it's definitely a boost. Yeah, I think so. All right, well, I am gonna turn this off, but I promised to get you the Micro Terror out, so I'll get you the Micro Terror. Just give me a sec while I set it up. Meantime, I'm gonna put on some fresh tunes. So turn that off and put this back on. There we go. Let's pull out the Micro Terror. Imar, is it going to be safe to assume that pretty much any stream I do, if I'm playing guitar, you're going to ask for the Micro Terror and gain? Just a hunch? Is that what's going to happen? I have nothing against that, by all means. Great idea, but I can unplug that. Alrighty, so input. Let's put this in the wall. or the socket there. Come on, there. Now you're going to be hearing it through this microphone, just FYI. Where did I put the cable? There. This time I'll put the cable through the right place. So through the strap and there. That's interesting. It's not responding. That's why it's not responding. Give me a sec. You need to plug the cable into the actual cab. So let's try that again. Man, this thing is loud. Seriously. But what I'm guessing is you just want more gain, right? So I got gain at full now. So what I'm guessing is, first position is just the bridge pickup, like it usually is. Then the second position would be the middle single coil with let's see, can I figure out which one it is? No. Well, it seems like it's the middle and the humbucker. Then just the single coil in the middle. Then fourth position would be the single coil in the neck pickup. Then finally the fifth would just be the neck pickup. But listen to the leap. So it's compared to there's so many different tones in this. It's nice. I'm surprised at how good it sounds. It's loud. And then the boost. So there's a lot going on there, which is actually pretty nice. So now comes the time that we take it apart and see a bit closer up what kind of things we're dealing with. So all the details come out when you start kind of dismantling things, or very often that is the case. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring you guys in a bit closer. I think that's probably the best way to go. Oh, I've been playing music on top of everything. Hopefully that hasn't been too bothersome. But yeah. I'll bring you in closer. You can have a better look at everything I'm doing. I think this is probably a good angle. Honestly. So, mine didn't come with a cabinet. Yeah, I bought this combo from just some guy on Facebook. No, actually no. It was a musician's sort of flea market thing that I bought it from. All right, first and foremost, the strings have got to go. But in preparation for me taking the strings out, I need to put something to block the trem so it doesn't snap down. Oh, perfect. Piece of mahogany. God, I'm so messed up today. A piece of walnut. This is a piece of walnut. All right, I'm gonna ease the load a little bit by loosening everything so that when I snap the strings, I don't snap anything else. There. Now that is anchored down and I can start removing everything. Bing. There. This is all garbage. Oh, they've kind of tied it in almost like a knot here. I'll put those down there. Oh, so much dust on this. Okay, put those there, so I'm probably gonna step on them and hurt myself. That's how things go. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so let's remove the trem. I can see that one of these springs, so the middle one, was definitely put in place afterward, because it is different to the other two by coloration. Yeah, and 24 frets. So all the contours and everything else on this, it's a very, very modern guitar. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was something that somebody would have made like in recent years, because it has a lot of aspects of guitars that people now are looking for. Put those in there. That'll remain for now. Right, how are you fixed on here? Okay, that's pretty cool. So, remove this bridge. Now, there's going to be a lot of cleanup that needs to happen. I also noticed that there's, interestingly, there are, for the pickups, this is pretty cool. I'm going to take the bridge off and then I'm going to show you what I just noticed. Also, we're going to take a little second to talk about this bridge as well, when I do actually eventually get it out. It's got really long bolts holding it in place. It's like really long bolts. They're still coming out. Really interesting mechanism that they have here. Ah. Seriously, how long are these screws? Okay, I gotta get a bigger bit here. Oddly enough, taking out the bridge was not something that I would have expected would be this big of an issue. There. Are you finally loose? Bit too small. Just right. So this Floyd system that they have is very interesting. But I cannot wait to actually be able to take out the bridge. That screw is loose. That much I can tell. But this one, don't understand why they're not coming out. Seems like they're just kind of like spinning in place. Interesting. Seems like the threads are kind of spinning in place. Yeah, see? Now that's loose. Now we can get this one loose. It should be. But I think that this has kind of locked itself in place now somehow. I don't know how or why it is doing that. There we go. I feel sorry sometimes for the wood when I route a Floyd cavity. It's too big. It is, but could always be a bigger cavity. You could be installing an Embertune. It's way bigger. Taking out half of the guitar or the wood. Now, the bad part about this is that I need to also remove those inserts from there. It's going to be an issue if I can't even get the frickin' bridge out. Alright. Come on. Almost there. There. Now that wasn't hard at all, now was it? Alright, so basically this looks the way that it's anchored down. It's very much, oh wow. Is it magnetized? What? No, I felt like it. Okay. But yeah, so basically, it's the very same sort of principle as you would have on Tune-O-Matic, where it just sits in like that on a bolt. This part, essentially, moves like that. Instead of having a fixed bridge, which would the entire thing would move like this, it's fixed all across this bar, which does not move at all, and it's on like a hinge. Wow, look at that, dirty. And these bridge pieces also, I love the shape of them because they're very smooth up against the hand. Shame that it's missing one. This might be reusable if I can actually find another one of these pieces. And these are just pretty ordinary tuners, so you can actually get those just fine and easy. But I like the design of this. It feels very sturdy, and I haven't really seen a Floyd quite like this one before. All right, now the issue is getting these out. There's a few different ways of doing that. So we'll see what I can do, because I don't know how deep down those go. But yeah, so the interesting thing as well is you'll notice that the screws for the height of the pickup, there's two on the top here, but only one on the bottom here. Don't know why, but there are. Take these out. Do they have... Okay, that's interesting. So this has, I keep on saying that's interesting, but this has a flathead screwdriver bit, and this has an Allen key. So I'm thinking that one of these is not the original piece, and they are two very different looking knobs. So probably very much the case, which makes me wonder that this pot in general might have been put in after the fact. But you can also tell they're two different sizes as well. Very subtly, but different sizes. And yeah, they have two different ways of fixing them on. So, and the knurling is different. This one's got bigger knurling on it than the other one. And it's more of a dome. The other one is more of a flat. All right, let's look here. Usually a good way of getting screws like this out is by basically screwing them all the way to the bottom and then some. But I'm guessing that these are not going to help matters because they go all the way to the bottom. Yep. So I need to see if I have any bolts that are the same size that I can use. Hey there! How you doing, Ether? Yavertune are huge, have not installed one yet. Cool Floyd, do they still make it? I don't know. I don't know if they still make it, because I haven't seen one of those around. If somebody does know, let me know. Either you have a look as well. So this is the Floyd that we're talking about. Does this look like something you might have seen recently? Because I haven't. So the saddles are fairly flat and feel nice. The bar that fixes it onto the guitar is one solid piece that locks everything together, kind of like a pneumatic would, like that. No, this is not a Kahler. This is a licensed Floyd. So it's kind of like a cheap Floyd Rose type thing, at least as far as the specs go. Kahler trims, they usually only have cavity routed out on the top. They don't need to do the back route because everything is on the system itself. I thought it was a Kahler. It looked like a Kahler. Two pneumatic Floyd, yes. How am I gonna get those out? I don't think I have the right type of bolts for that. And I don't think I have the right type of bolts that are long enough for that. I could try and force them out because this is getting a full refinish and the lacquer seems to be pretty thick. So I think I can be a little bit violent about this. That's not moving like at all. Yeah, that's gonna be an issue for another day. I bought a 64 Bessie. You bought 64 Bessie clamps a few days back and a record power AC 400 air filter unit for the shop. Dude, I'm jealous. Can you buy me 40 or 64 Bessie clamps? Seriously, like that's one of the things that I really need to get because I only have about 6 clamps that are around this size and they don't get too much done, none. So So I need to go and buy some. And I have 2 of these. Actually, they're not even mine, they're my girlfriend's. Oh! Is this... Hold on. I think that this, yep, there are some traces of maintenance done on this guitar, where I think that this is like Yamaha's used to, no, but that doesn't make sense because they have the inlays. Maybe. Some older Yamahas, they used to paint the fretboard black on the rosewood fretboards black to make it look like ebony. And I think there's some traces of that here. And I can see that there are small tiny pieces of masking tape next to some of the frets. Nope, I was completely wrong. That is not masking tape. That is years and years worth of gunk. That's gross. I can send a picture on Instagram. Yes, please do. I would love to see it. This screw is not an original screw. This has been put in afterwards because if we compare, first off, that screwdriver was way too big for that. But if we compare these two, so that is roundabout what you would expect a pickup surround screw to look like. I need to come in closer. Come on. There. And this is the one screw that was put in afterwards. Got your picture? Let me have a look here. Instagram's been slow. So yeah, this really is starting to look like a complete mishmash of parts. Oh, dude. So 2025. That's a nice set of stuff. And the record air filter is a good one. Nice haul. Interesting. So no brand pickups. I'm guessing these are Yamaha's own pickups. I was surprised at the tone of them. They didn't sound half bad, but I do need to first let's put a couple of screws back so I can remove the wiring. I'm also very curious to see how they've done the wiring here. All right, flip around, and there we go. Thanks. Yeah, the clamps were 300 euro total, quite a lot, but at least I have enough now. Actually, for 300 bucks, that's not a lot for clamps. You're always going to need a lot of clamps, and that is a pretty good deal getting there for 300. Because at the end of the day, for something you need a lot of, clamps are very expensive. So 300 bucks for that many is not bad. Okay, so having a look here, the barrel jack looks fairly interesting. The pots look very interesting, and the switch also looks Very interesting. Let me show you a close-up because this is pretty different. So here, as you can see, that is not really a threaded barrel jack. That is the boost switch. This push-pull thing, look at that. I'm going to switch that out for a better one because that looks janky. So does that pot right there. And look at this switch. It's plastic. I'm going to switch that out too. So I think the only thing worth saving is the... I might want to switch that too. We'll see. But, oh, now I can see the grain. It has an ash top? What? This might end up looking pretty cool once it's stripped of paint. So it has an ash top, mahogany body. That is unexpected. That is very unexpected. I can't wait to see what is hidden underneath all of this stuff. Because, yeah, unusual is the word I would use. But due to... Why paint it? I know, right? Exactly. That's what I was thinking. It makes no sense at all to be painting this. And I have a feeling that I will not repaint it. Depending on what the wood looks like underneath, I might want to just stain this. And, yeah. There. So. That would also explain the weight, because it is pretty heavy. And would explain the grain pattern visible through the top here. Okay. Got rid of those screws. All this comes loose. We can actually disregard that for now. Just completely snip it clean. Pickup wires. Yeah, I am gonna need to resolder these anyway. So I'm just gonna unceremoniously snip these off. So those are the ground wires. Yep. This push-pull is unlike any I have seen. Interesting. Okay. I feel like the word of the day has been interesting so far. I've used that a lot during the stream already. All right. Sweet. Move that. Where does this go? This goes there. All right. So, I'm going to replace most of this stuff. Look at this. This is the push-pull knob. Focus. Focus. Come on, focus. Yeah. So here's the push-pull. And, oh sorry, push-push. Then the volume. Then the switch. And the boost. Now the boost might be actually salvageable. I think that isn't as bad as some of the others, but we'll see. I'll pop these in the bag of bits nonetheless. But how are you mounted on there? So I need a big ass screwdriver. Or apparently the end of a wrench will also do the trick. That looks like a mess. Yep. It most certainly is. So I have good faith that we might actually make this sound somewhat decent when it's actually finished. Okay, and there is the barrel jack, which it isn't too bad. I'll see what Neela thinks, whether you want to replace that. But yeah. There's it's really something. This has been very confusing to take apart and full of tons and tons of surprises. And I'm sure there's plenty more to go. Essentially. So what we have now gathered that we're going to do is we're going to fill up the cavities where the Floyd used to be. Going to redo the electronics. More than likely not repaint it, but instead stain it, depending on what the wood looks like. But currently, at least as it stands, we're looking to stain instead of paint. Just wondering, how would you copy existing neck profile gauge, or is there a different technique? I want to copy a ThinU ESP profile. Careful measurements, honestly, and essentially, in my opinion, The most accurate tool for getting a shape that you have to, hold on to is literally by touch. So by you feeling how it feels and figuring out where you need to take off material. You can use gauges and stuff like that, or scrapers in the right size, and other tools to kind of work things down, for sure. But personally, I just try and take a lot of measurements and then try and get as close to that by carving it by hand. But yeah, a really handy tool is like, I don't know what the hell it's called, but used a lot for instance, like for doing like skirting boards and like door frames and stuff like that, I believe, and actually doing like tiles. That's the word I was looking for. Tiles in like bathrooms, and using the, is it like a profile? Yeah, it's a profile gauge, right? The thing with the, you know what I mean? I need to Google. My brain just turned off for some reason. I can't think of the Finnish word for it, and I can't think of the English word for it. Profile gauge. Yes, a profile gauge. This thing. Oh man, I'm such an idiot sometimes. I use a plate of metal wire pieces that adjust the shape. Yeah, so a profile gauge, exactly. That is a very good way of doing it, and have a couple of those because the neck shape does, of course, change a little bit throughout. So if you have the size of it and the shape of it up at the first fret and then maybe down by the 15th fret, then you'll get a much better understanding of the actual shape than just by having one shape. So take two from there, and then basically get the right shape here, get the right shape here, and conjoin the two. So now we can remove the pickups. We have the wires out. Pickups I'll have to keep a little bit more separate so I don't damage them. But yeah, so no brand, very thin profile pickups. I need to mark this as the bridge. I wonder if that's going to wipe off. Not that bad. There. Yeah, no problem. Sorry that my brain just kind of imploded there for a minute and I couldn't think of what the hell I was talking about. One thing's for sure, they use very long screws for anything, and they have another ground point here. I'll show you that in a bit once I remove the pickups out. Don't worry, we all have those brain fart moments. Yeah, The thing is, I don't even have the excuse of, hey, it's a Monday, like I usually do. But yes, stream brain. That's what we'll call it from now on. I have stream brain. Patent pending. Crap. Remember guys, whenever you drop anything, make sure that you drop something that is very small. And black. Think of where I'm gonna put these papers. I think I might have some place that I can put them. Have a look here. I mean, yes and no. This'll do. Then the middle position. Oof, so dirty. Before I put these back in, they are gonna get cleaned for sure. All right, not gonna remove that. Or are you gonna do this first? Because it's easier for me to wind these off while they're on the body than there. Hell of a lot quicker. Sorry, I'm dropping frames. But yeah, I think that we will be able to make this look pretty cool. Because it's going to get a hardtail bridge on it, I will need to put on a headstock veneer. I'll do that once I figure out what the wood is underneath, so I can try and match that. And then this is neck. So and grave that just to be sure. And store those away. Man. Right, so there are 3 ground points here. 2 ground points. No, yeah, 3. So 1 for each pickup. Doesn't make sense, they have ground wires. But I guess it's just to ground the shielding on this. I've seen this on some Ibanez's as well. But essentially, see that? It's just a screw screwed straight into the wood on all these corners here. And then wired up to the ground. It makes very little sense to me, as the pickups themselves are grounded already, unless all the electronics were extremely noisy beforehand. But yeah, these are something. It's, yeah. So I had the bridge ground, and then these 3 ground points, and then the pickup's going to ground, and the output going to ground. I'm not going to be putting these back, because they don't make any sense. Especially nowadays, with modern wire that's already kind of shielded anyways. Gonna put it in there anyway, just for safekeeping. Right. That is all the hardware removed. And let me tell you, now that the bridge is out, this is actually a lot lighter. That bridge was very heavy, so this feels a lot nicer at this point than it did a little bit ago. Right. Let's have a look here at the headstock as I dismantle that into pieces. Okay. All the bits. And let us have a look at what the truss rod looks like. I really hope that the truss rod is intact and has not been destroyed and demolished into pulp. Oh, thank God, it is looking nice. Dirty, but nice. You can still grab onto that, I believe. Too small. Yep, still a good grab. While I'm here, let us check how straight this is. Not very. It does need a little bit as you can see, wobbling quite a bit. But not an issue that we need to fix right now. There's still tons of work that needs to be done on this guitar before we get anywhere near straightening it out. Going to, of course, clean the entire thing after everything's all said and done. Polishing up the frets. Oddly enough, the frets are actually in pretty good shape. Doesn't look like this has been played that much. The fret ends don't poke out. That's nice. They're uneven at parts, but they feel nice. Another extra plate here. Get rid of that too. Okay. So it is a maple and mahogany neck. The joints don't look too bad, honestly. They do have some sort of veneer on top of here, and it's hard to discern what it is right now as of yet. But have a look. What hardtail tube pound I'm putting in? Don't know yet. I have to ask Neela what he wants. How are the tuners? Tuners feel sort of flimsy. I might suggest to replace those, but we'll see if we do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this guitar. I really strongly do believe that we can actually make this look very, very nice. Don't know if I already said that, but I do have high hopes. The thing is, due to some of the design aspects of it, we can bring this from the 80s and early 90s to the modern era pretty easily. Because the shape of it, the cutaways, 24 frets, nice minimalistic inlays, and lots of tone options, splittable tone options, a neck through construction, it can become a very good riff machine. Even with the pickups that it already has. Those might get switched out, but we'll see. Switch those out for some meatier, more modern tones, and yeah. I think Neela will get out a kick at using this. And then I do have another guitar from him lined up, but he's currently using it, so I need to fix this up first. I kind of dig the headstock, I really do. I think that is a very cool headstock. Hold on. There. It has that Irish TD's vibe with the cutaway here, or the little contour. And then I like that aspect of it. It's kind of like an old carven headstock. But yeah, that's that. And it's very light in comparison to what it was. Yeah. I think this is gonna look decent. Do need to figure out how I'm gonna get those out so that they're They're still a little bit of an issue, but I'll get them out. Looks better than my design. Oh, you mean the headstock? Nah, headstock designs are always difficult. Oh yeah, I'll see if I can catch this on the camera. But the way that I could see that it is a neck through from the very get-go is because it's an older guitar. Let's see if I can catch it there, a little bit there. Can you see it? Those lines here means that the wood has shrunk right there differently than it has elsewhere. Oh God. But yeah. Fun. That was a lot of fun. I like taking apart guitars. Audio and picture still working. Yeah, so over time, the woods have moved, shrunk, different moisture contents and how they react to moisture, which will show through paint. It's funny, the wonder how many pieces that is, because I see there's a strip there, but they're not in the middle. Is there another strip somewhere? No, yeah, they do go in the middle. So it's a 5-piece neck. Yeah, I think we're pretty good for now. Thanks very much for joining. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be working on otherwise. The necks for the production models and the 7-string have been rough carved, so there's the 7-string now. Working on inlay still. That had a little addition to it now, where instead of the inlay going that way, we're going to change it so it goes along the neck, which means that I need to inlay a piece of ebony into the board. But I think I might actually inlay the skull into this and then inlay the whole thing into the fretboard. Might be a lot easier, so we'll see. That's the 7-string. Then we have the 2 Daedalus models. One, the MKH Daedalus with the logo. Feels very nice already at this point. Lots of sanding to do on all of these, but it was just a rough carve. Then one for the Bubinga top. And finally, the last for the curly and birch, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about before I end the stream for now? I hope that I don't mess up my fretboard with radius sanding. Just take your time, work from 120 upwards. Once you get your radius in, then move on to 180 and going up from there. Keep checking, do lots of checking to make sure that you're right on track with where you're supposed to be. And and yeah, rub some pencil on, or do cross stitch with the pencil so that you can see where you're taking off material a lot easier. But yeah, easy does it. And thank you for watching. It's ridiculously hot in here, so I'm gonna leave it here. But it's fun. See you guys next stream.